What's ours can be yours, for the right price. I'll be here. The Traveler made humanity weak, lured them into a false sense of security. Every piece in our collection tells a story, whether it be through its elegant design, its unique makeup, or the history of its crafter. Just focus on what you came in for, Warlock. No need to mosey. Our weapons are akin to a third limb, weightless to hold, and seamless to use. Remain vigilant, Ada. The Black Armory is depending on you.
cops. We see the right. Look at these rioters are destroying everything. And the funny thing is, you know, you can really tell what they care about based on who they're tweeting about, right? The journalists are just tweeting about journalists. Isn't that funny? For almost every journalist, riots, not all of them, the story has become them and their oppression. And the police violating the First Amendment, or whatever you want to call it. Let me tell y'all something. You're not special, journalists.
Somebody has Illumina.
You're another human being standing in a crowd, and they don't care who you are or what you're doing. Not only that, but activists also put on press badges and pretend to be journalists and medics and other things as cover, taking advantage of your profession. If I have seen legal, legitimate protests where the cops show up and shut it down and fire into the crowd, and that's a violation of the First Amendment. And then these journalists ignore the orders, thinking that when the police are violating the First Amendment rights of these protesters, the police are choosing to exempt them. They're not. And these journalists end up getting shot and then shocked, like, oh no, why are they firing beanbags at me? I'm a noble journalist. Oh, you're not. Now, right now we're dealing with riots. And that's a bit more understandable because the rioting is not First Amendment. So these journalists who are under 1A, legally allowed to be filming and documenting, and should be, don't realize that when a riot breaks out, everyone goes. Don't know who you are, don't care who you are, and it's fascinating to me. These journalists just don't get it. They think they're magic. They think they're invincible. Ladies and gentlemen, I think we have well crossed into the territory of Boogaloo, or whatever you want to call it. Some people told me the Boogaloo is the people versus the government, but I don't think that's the case. I mean, maybe. I don't know much about what that word is supposed to imply. But what I will tell you is that I've been saying for a long time, civil war. For the past couple of years, I've talked about the escalation and about what comes next. Because people are seeing all of this, and it's not simmering down. Social media allows us to stay fresh in your mind. And now we have two diverging factions. I see my friend posting, saying things like it's on all white people, you got to do this. What do I even say to this person? Like, they've gone down a crazy path. We're not talking about white supremacy versus noble resistance. We're talking about regular Americans versus psychotic domestic terrorism, or whatever you want to call it. Armed insurrection, far left communist revolutionaries. In the video, I may have missed this point, but the point I was making in my video yesterday, there were bricks preset in front of a courthouse. Now, a lot of people don't know who did it or why. Some people think the police are staging these things. Listen, man, I have been to these activist meetings. I see what they do. They talk about how they'll load up vans with materials and bring them in early in the morning and strategically place them. Why? Because you can't drive a van full of bricks into a riot to hand out bricks. So what they do is they come with a van at 2 a.m., and they wear vests and hard hats, and they stack bricks, and they put up a sign, and it looks totally normal. They drive away. Then, 12 hours later, people show up to protest, and, well, lo and behold, a stack of bricks, and they grab them and use them. It is strategic. It is clever. The reason I think that we're entering Civil War territory is these next clips I'm going to show you. I wouldn't be surprised if YouTube took this video down, but what are you going to do, YouTube? This stuff is happening all around us. Let me tell you what we are seeing is something I have not seen in my entire life. I'm going to start you off light. Check out this clip. Man attacked by mob of rioters in South Carolina over MAGA hat. Police officer shot at. It's from the District Herald. And the officer was not hit and did not fire back. And that's the gist of the story. I got to be careful about the videos and the clips that I show in this segment, because I don't want the video to get deleted. I want you to be able to hear what I have to say and hear what's going on. That was it. It was just a guy in a MAGA hat. Oh yeah, they want to kill you, bro. They want to kill you. So what do you think people are going to do? I got video. I'm going to show you what people are going to do. And well, carefully, I might add. But let's move on. Take a look at this story. Man in Gainesville, arrested after trying to drive through a crowd of protesters, threatening them with a gun. I don't know why, it was a small crowd of protesters. When he couldn't get through, when this he pulled out a gun and started waving it. You want to know why he did that? Because in the LA riots, there was a man who was pulled from a vehicle and beaten to death. Because there was a man who was in front of his store who was beaten to death. Because there was a vehicle, I think this may have been in Chicago, that was just shot up, riddled with bullets. Because there was an officer who was standing in front of a building and a white van pulled up, opened the side panel door, and killed one of them. And because NYPD in an SUV were sitting in their vehicle when got pelted with Molotov cocktails. No one is going to just sit there anymore and let you do your thing. You think you're a protest. When a man pulls up to a federal building and takes aim at an officer, you're not a protester anymore. You are standing out there waving your little sign, but you are providing cover to armed insurrection. I am absolutely in favor of 1A. So the point I'm trying to make is, not that you're not actually protesting. That's not the point. Yes, you have a right to do so, and you can and should. But what you have to keep in mind is that other people who have seen everything else happen will not gamble on whether or not you are just there to find your own business. They're going to see these images, they're going to see these stories, and they're going to say, I'm not gambling on my life. Somebody posted online, I'll take my chances with a jury over an angry mob. And so you'll see this. In New York City, a video is going viral of an NYPD SUV stopped by a bunch of protesters and then just jolted forward and slammed and knocked them all down. Another SUV piled wheels through. New York, I've never seen like this. This is mind-blowing to me. I've been covering this stuff for almost 10 years. And New York was always the tamest. The worst thing I saw in New York, running through the streets. The absolute, worst thing in terms of police violence was a guy got his head, a cop grabbed his head and slammed him into a door, shed spiderwebbing through the glass. It was a glass window. I see people throwing on the ground and stuff, but that was the worst. Now what are we seeing? It's an SUV just, jerking forward, knocking a bunch of protesters down. It's not going to end here. Let me show you some stuff, man. Protesters take on driver aiming bow and arrow at them in Salt Lake City. I can't show you the videos, man. You got to look these things up. You can find them very easily. This man right here, you can see him a little bit, got out of his vehicle when there were protesters all over the street, and he took a bow, it looks like a compound bow, and started drawing and aiming at people. So they rushed up and they beat this man mercilessly, and they burned his car. They torched it in the street. I believe that's what happened. That's what I've seen. But it's hard to confirm a lot of this. You got to understand. Man, I'm not even done. Here's a message from Killer Mike. I want to show you this in a second, but I want to make sure I can go through the crazy things. This is from Andy No. This guy right here in the hat is just standing there with an American flag. This guy walks up to him, punches him, and drags him into a crowd where he is stomped mercilessly. Which brings me to the next video. Oh, not this one, sorry. Actually, it doesn't look like, I guess I don't have it pulled up. Well, it's probably better that I don't show it anyway. It's a guy who I mentioned earlier on. He was trying to defend this. I'm told he was trying to defend this guy because they were hitting on him. They said some things I can't repeat. They used homophobic slurs. They made racial statements about who he was. Overtly racist statements. I'm talking about Black Lives Matter activists. These are black people saying this. Using homophobic slurs at this guy. And I wonder if the guy who got stomped was actually gay, because I'm not going to make assumptions about the guy, but they were calling him these slurs, so I wonder what that had to do with it. And one woman said, "You're lucky that we're helping you because you've all been so terrible to us," something like that. I'm like, what? She was talking about white people. Yeah. And this guy's sitting there covered in blood with his teeth knocked out. Why? Because this guy was minding his own business. I got respect if you want to go out and protest. All right? So if this guy wants to show up and wave his American flag, and the other guy, wants to show up and watch what's happening, I can respect, that you're protesting and expressing your rights. But you got to understand what's happening in these streets and what's been happening for the past year. Don't be surprised when they drag you into a crowd and just start beating you mercilessly. In this video, a man was critically injured. He was apparently trying to defend his store, had like a sword or something, was screaming. The video is crazy. And they beat him with a skateboard, stoned him, and he's slumped over, and it looks like a Family Guy sketch. The guy's body all mangled up. I believe he may have survived, but I need to remind you, there's no such thing as being knocked out like it works in the movies. You guys probably watch MMA, so you probably all know this. People who get knocked out get up in a few seconds. So you get knocked down, you fall down, and that's it. Fight over. This guy's down.
So worth it.
I saw this, I'm like,
so worth it.
That's got to be death or TBI, traumatic brain injury. Same is true for the guy in Portland. He falls down, gets knocked out, and someone full force punts his head. These guys are going to have permanent brain damage. They're going to probably have they'll have memory problems. They'll probably
Damn it, trying to see if I can save it.
Hearing problems. This stuff's permanent. What we're seeing from these people is attempted murder. I'm not exaggerating. You can argue the guy defending his business with the sword was nuts because he was running through the streets at people. Yeah. You know, a guy in Minneapolis defended his store with lethal force. He shot a guy, a looter. He got charged with murder, last I heard. Take a look at this video. This is from Elijah Schaefer. Again, police have lost control of downtown Dallas. Armed militia are now coming in to protect businesses. Yeah. Yeah, that's what's happening. Take a look at this tweet from John Collins. People on Twitter might think Minneapolis people seem irrational right now. But I just got an invite to a gathering in the park hosted by a city council member for people to figure out how to protect our neighborhoods because government has failed completely. This is where we are. Yup. There's another clip I'm going to show you now. Now, I'm going to show you, it seems to me that we are inches away from full-on civil war. Now, I think before that happens, actually, I think the right is going to now defer to the National Guard, the military, and Trump. You know what's going to happen is regular people probably will too. Take a look at this video. Store owner pulls up, sees looter, fires a shotgun, and chases them off. 2 shots. Some people have called them warning shots because in the first one, it looks like his gun is pointed upwards and to the left. So he walks up and goes bang. I'm not sure. You can't really see. He just walks into this building with a shotgun. What do you think's going to happen, man? I said it last year. I said it the year before. Every time this stuff happens, what do you think comes next? Let me tell you what comes next. As these videos keep circulating, there's a possibility that people calm down and the National Guard is deployed, I think now in like 10 states or more. The military is on standby. It's possible these people show up. There's a video going viral of what claims to be National Guard marching down what looks like a residential side street, firing at people standing on their porch for not going inside. This is my fear. This is going to escalate. We are going to see the total and complete militarization of our streets, and a lot of people are going to beg for it. I mean, this is a right, authoritarian, far-right, whatever you want to call it. All of these people who have wanted some kind of authoritarian lockdown from the militarized, police force and government, they're getting their wish. Conservatives that were protesting on it, they were mad at the cops and let them go to the supermarket. So where does that leave us? Civil war of some sort? I don't know. I think based on the ideological nonsense that I've seen, I think it's going to come to faction. And I think conservatives will find themselves ultimately on the side of the government, which the government provides order and stability. People randomly attacking small business and attacking black neighborhoods. Here's what he said. He says, I am black. I was talking to blacks in my city. If you want to understand the nasty, I can show you 3 black business owners who are trying to understand why their shops were destroyed and their black employees are now jobless. Giving every excuse to the government, military, National Guard, whatever, to occupy our streets. If you have the COVID lockdown is bad, wait until you see martial law. It's going to be 10 times worse. In a lot of ways, though, because I think if martial law hits, you're actually going to be able to go off, not like under COVID. Combine the two, however, you're not going to want to live this way. People don't know what they're doing. They think they're going to be some armed insurrection. They're not. That's not it. Following up on my main channel on Donald Trump's looming executive order, it would seem that Twitter, Jack Dorsey are, dare I say, panicking over what's about to come. If you haven't seen the segment, head over to timcast.net. It's been live as of 4 p.m., but I'll give you a quick context if you missed it. Basically, Trump is set to sign an executive order. By the time you're watching this, maybe he already did it, basically asking the FCC to clarify the rules around Section 230, meaning, long story short, Twitter could lose their Section 230 protections if they're deemed to be a publisher versus a platform. It's kind of murky territory, but the general idea is that Trump is trying to combat censorship. Twitter fact-checks 2-month-old tweets by China as Trump threatens web giants with bias investigations following outcry over accuracy warning on President Trump's tweets. The reason why I believe Jack Dorsey and many other platforms are probably freaking out right now is because, well, for one, this is a pending executive order, but in Jack Dorsey's position specifically, he fact-checked Donald Trump's opinion. This was a huge, huge mistake. Like, I'm talking, wow, level of mistake. If you're going to argue that you're a platform, not a publisher, the last thing you want to do is alter the content produced by people who are just opining on your platform. But Jack Dorsey, I should say Twitter, because I don't know if it was him directly, but he's the one taking responsibility for it, altered Donald Trump's tweet to send you to the opinions of people who don't like Trump. That is complete editorializing. Well, this isn't the perfect answer, but it seems like to avoid any question of political bias, they're now fact-checking tweets by China. This is also following out, I don't want to say outcry, but a statement by Mark Zuckerberg basically dragging Twitter. What do you call it when you have an emotional satisfaction? Catharsis, I suppose? Schadenfreude? Whatever. Let's read what happened. Twitter has fact-checked 2 tweets by China after it caused a political storm in the U.S. by flagging 2 of Donald Trump's tweets for accuracy, sparking fury from the president and accusations of bias. The social media giant added exclamation point warnings to tweets by China's foreign ministry spokesman, accusing the U.S. of starting the coronavirus pandemic. The timing of the fact checks coincide with the political fallout in America from Twitter's decision to add accuracy warnings on 2 of President Trump's tweets claiming mail-in election ballots were substantially fraudulent. The decision to single out 2 of the president's tweets for fact-checking led to furious accusations of anti-conservative bias in the U.S. Trump is now threatening to sign an executive order today which could expose Google, Facebook, and Twitter to government investigations into allegations of bias and more lawsuits. But amid the row, Twitter singled out tweets by China's foreign ministry spokesman, Li Jianzhou, accusing the U.S. Army of starting the coronavirus pandemic. He said it might be the U.S. Army, blah, blah, blah. Okay, you know why Twitter's doing this? They're like, we're not biased. See, look, no, we're not. It's not just Trump. It's China, too. Donald Trump, in his executive order, specifically called out China. Okay, this is it. The draft of the executive order got leaked. I'm sure that Twitter saw it, and they immediately were like, quick, censor China. What do we do? Maybe they got heads up on this first because there were some reports coming out. I don't know when exactly it leaked, but they're trying to make it seem like they're not biased. All right. How about you go and fact-check every politician for every false claim? How about you fact-check Joe Biden, who lied with the Very Fine People hoax? But before we move on with the story, I've got to give a quick shout-out to today's sponsor, Virtual Shield. Virtual Shield is a virtual private network service, basically a program you can download that provides your internet browsing with a basic layer of security. There are hackers, there are government agencies, there are general nefarious actors who want to break into your system, steal your data, and a VPN is one simple way to protect yourself. Now, I always tell people, look, you have locks in your doors and windows, but you don't expect people to break in, but you still do it. And to be honest, if somebody really wanted to, they could break the lock on your door, but you still have that lock, right? Because it makes sense to have basic security. Right now, if you go to hidewithtim.com, you can get 50% off your virtual private network service. It's just $2.50 per month. I'm eternally grateful to Virtual Shield for sponsoring my channel. They're one of the few sponsors I actually have, and I think it's a great service. So if you want to take your internet security seriously, check out hidewithtim.com. The link will be in the description below. But let's get back to the main story. They love running this fake story where they claim that Trump said some pretty nasty people were very fine people, but they removed the context where Trump said, I condemn the white supremacists totally. Or he said they should be condemned totally, and was talking about someone else. They removed that. They edited it. Twitter does nothing. So yeah, Twitter is biased, and now they're worried. What do they do? Here's here's where it gets funny. When asked about President Trump's expected executive order on social media platforms, Nancy Pelosi did not hold back her criticism of the companies. All they want is to not pay taxes. Yes, Nancy Pelosi, basically, they say that she slammed the companies for pandering to Donald Trump and giving him what he wants, because in the wake of this pending executive order, they may actually have to, I don't know, do their jobs and be held to a certain standard. Now, this is from, I want to elaborate on what Mark Zuckerberg said. I did briefly talk about Mark Zuckerberg in the main segment, but I want to really dive into him specifically.
Did I not complete that?
He has a different policy than I think Twitter on this. He wants to make it seem like, oh no, we're not going to fact check and we're going to be hands off. Let me tell you a funny story. Prager University, you may be familiar with, published a screenshot of a tweet. It made several claims about immigration. It was fact-checked by Facebook. So when I saw it appear in my feed, or I think I went to their site, I could see that it said, you know, this has been fact-checked by Facebook, and you have to click a warning before reading the tweet. It was like a screenshot. They linked to an article which backed up everything Prager you had claimed, 100%. I went, wait a minute. So here's what I did. I took the same shot, the same screenshot, I made a new image. This time, in my post, I linked directly to the fact check article and said something like, this article backs up everything in this image, and they flagged my content as false too. Yeah, Mark, you're lying, okay? They're all lying. They're all, sure, you know what? Maybe Pelosi's right. They just don't want to pay taxes. That's what it's all about, huh? They're all liars. All they want to do is sell ads. They don't want to deal with the controversy. And hey, to a certain degree, I can respect it. But you know what? You know, this is the territory that you've entered. And if you want to play games, you reap what you have sown. So, Mark, no, I don't buy it. You censor people outright all the time. You banned on Instagram Paul Joseph Watson, and he had this just like him smoking cigarettes in the sunset. Look, if you're mad that Paul Joseph Watson's got opinions and he's on Facebook, you don't like him, I get it. But why ban the dude from Instagram when it was literally photos of him like, you know, he's like making a face, he's got cigarette in his mouth, and he's like doing a selfie shot. It's like, you know what, man? I don't want to play games. I'm not going to sit here and take these lies from you. Oh, well, we're better than Twitter. We wouldn't do that. No, you're not. You're just as bad. It's just that you're not getting called out because you didn't go after the president. You go after the smaller channels. Politico reports, Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg argued Wednesday that private companies should not be the arbiter of truth online, implicitly rebuking fellow tech titan Jack Dorsey after the Twitter CEO flagged a pair of President Donald Trump's posts with fact-check warnings that provoked the White House's ire. We have a different policy than, I think, Twitter on this one, Zuckerberg told Fox News host Dana Perino in an interview set to air Thursday. You know, I just believe strongly that Facebook shouldn't be the arbiter of truth of everything that people say online. I think in general, private companies probably shouldn't be, or especially these platform companies, shouldn't be in a position of doing that. Oh, I love it. I love it. See, here's the problem. A new story broke from the Wall Street Journal. Facebook knows that their algorithm was radicalizing people. What do? Nothing. They swept it under the rug. They're now trying to pass it off like, well, we shouldn't be the arbiter of truth. No, your algorithm is exploiting people and making people go insane. There's a big difference between algorithmic promotion and censorship. A lot of people complain about YouTube. They say, you know, I posted a video and then YouTube, you know, like won't recommend it or whatever. And I've always maintained this.
Look at this. They just keep coming.
Go inside! Get inside! Get inside! Get inside! Get in your house now! Let's go! Light him up! Go inside now! Get in the house!
In most of my videos on my main channel, I'll say, share the video because YouTube pushes my channel down and props up the mainstream media. I'm not making a dig at YouTube for doing it. I don't think YouTube is under any obligation to promote my content, so long as it's visible. I did complain recently because YouTube shadow banned one of my videos. Hey, if I make a video and it's legal speech and it's important, you should allow people to see it if they choose to. You don't have to promote.
Hello, I'm checking in. Wow, this is nice. How long have you been open?
1 week ago.
A
a week. Wow, it looks brand new. So the one I stayed at in Saigon was 25 a night. This one's a bit cheaper. I think I'm paying 14 now. Okay, check in. You have a locker. Could you show me where the locker is? Awesome.
Yeah.
What do we have in here?
We have uniform.
A uniform. You want me to wear the uniform? Awesome. I will do that. Yes. What's the verdict? Quite like this style. Wow, that is very sexist. So if you're a man, you're not allowed to be in the elevator. Only for women.
Yeah, only.
Wow.
Yeah.
This special treatment here for the fairer sex. Let's see what it looks like then.
Yeah.
A normal toilet. Let's see the shower here. Okay, fancy. Only 1 week you've been open, you say?
Just 1 week ago.
Just really 1 week. I'm still amazed. Wow. Very dark. Which one? Oh, yeah.
So I get it. It might hurt me and my income, but as long as the video is available for people to seek out, fine. I'm cool with that.
Yeah, you're on the drugs.
The algorithm chooses what you see. How about this, Facebook? How about if you want to claim to not be the arbiter of truth, you remove the algorithm.
Okay, I like it. Could you hold this for a second as I walk in here so people can get an idea of how big it is? Okay. I'm afraid I won't fit in here. Hold on. Oh, there's aircon in here too.
Have table for the computer.
Awesome. All right, I like it. And then this is just it's not a door. It's just a. Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye. See you tomorrow.
Awesome, thank you. Cheers. I'm gonna give you guys a little tour. See what it is like in here. So it is very cold already. So the aircon up here is working. Here we have one electrical socket to charge my phone. And then there is something in here. Hold on. So you can put your bag in here. Fancy. And then let's see what this is. Okay, a laptop table. I can get used to this. It is all you need. Let's see if they have Wi-Fi in here. They do.
And it's just...
Oh my Chucky, that's you! Where are you, Chucky? Police was looking for me in every country. I was wanted by police, at the same time I became star. I don't looking for inspiration for nobody. This shit come from cocaine, from alcohol. I'm the wildest person, not only in rap business, in show business.
He's always doing, that people can't do or afraid to do.
Something inside me is screaming, grab the fucking needle and put in my fucking eyeball right now. Who wants to die? Welcome to fucking Poland, bro. I'm in Poland now. I've come here to see an absolute rap superstar. He goes by the name of Popek. To me, he seems like an absolute madman, but I'm curious to find out a bit about him and what makes him such a big character and a personality in Poland. What's going on? Oh my Chucky, that's you! Where are you, Chucky? Hey, be careful with that! Oh my God! What's going on? Nice to meet you, man. This is good to meet you. Man came out with a big strap. Oh my God. rap really emerged in the 90s when godfather of the scene, Leroy aka PM Kool Lee, blew up. But most MCs were mixing rap with rock music. It wasn't until the turn of the century that seminal gangster rap crew Firma emerged out of Krakow with unvarnished stories from the streets. They had Boski Roman, Kali, who recently made a big comeback, and this madman, Popek. Popek has made music consistently since then, and in recent years has become a genuine superstar in Poland, making big tracks with international MCs like The Game from the US and Big Nasty from the UK. Arguably, he's even more famous for his wild personality than his music. He's done everything from choosing to cut up his face, to tattooing his balls, to launching an MMA career. If gangster rap is about being an outlaw, this guy pushes it further than anyone. Popek, I just want to take a little bit of time to, understand you and find out a bit about your upbringing and your life. Where did you grow up?
Where I grew up, I was like Nizza. A very, very dark place on this planet. And when I was 16, I ran away from Poland to Germany.
Okay.
I was in Germany for 3 years. And bam, to Amsterdam.
Amsterdam.
Yeah.
You moved about. You moved about a little bit.
And in Amsterdam, 2 times in coma.
You was in a coma?
Yeah, 2 times.
Tell me about the first time.
The first time was 6 months. I was sleeping 6 months.
Serious?
Yeah. I took 9 LSD to my mouth. 10 and 11 I put here. And coma 6 months. And after 6 months, I couldn't walk and speak for 3-4 weeks. When I left the hospital, I said, I'm never gonna do this no more. You know what happened next 2 hours?
You did the same thing again?
The same thing. I was sleep 8 months.
8 months?
Yeah.
Absolute madman.
Yes.
Like, what was your first introduction to, like, rap music?
Tupac Shakur. My music started because Tupac Shakur. And when he died, I said, motherfucker, you can do the same in your language. And I started doing Polish rap with my band Firma.
Dbam o swoje sprawy, to nie puste prawdy, to odkręcone rozmyślania, ale nikt nie zarzuci mi ściemiania, nierealnego
It's just chronological order. So when someone posts, it pops up. Done. End of story. Now, Facebook wants to maximize the amount of time you spend on site so they can maximize ad sales. I get it. What that means, though, is they want to make sure the content they're feeding you is more likely to get attention from you. So they made an algorithm to do that. It then spreads fake news. And then when people complain and say, dude, look at all the fake news on your platform, they're like, well, we're not the arbiters of truth. I mean, the first thing they do is they bend over backwards from the left, start censoring all this content, go way overreach, and start censoring legitimate news from conservative outlets. And then they
fuck! Alright, I gotta read that fucker. Fuck!
Period. Get rid of all of it. And then when someone posts, it appears. It's that simple. Because then if someone spreads fake news, so what? People spread fake news to each other all the time. I went to Walgreens like a couple weeks ago, and the lady was talking nonsense about Bill Gates and stuff. And I'm like, I don't think that's true. No, I mean, it was like real crazy stuff. I understand there's a lot of weird things about Bill Gates people have been sharing, but I mean like just off the rails. Like, these, I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to get into it. Let me just tell you, it was discernibly absurd. Like, mask conspiracies and like government withholding stuff. And I'm like, okay, Facebook is me talking to my friends and family. All right. I mean, I don't really use Facebook, to be honest. But if someone makes a post and they're like, Uncle Bill telling his thoughts on Trump or whatever, yeah, it happens all the time. Uncle Bill's always got opinions. Now they just talk with the algorithms.
I got this Crucible one and I got this Strike one.
Most insane conspiracy nonsense. Videos, photos.
So do a round of Crucible.
Exploited by websites, and that's the big problem. You want to deal with this? I'll tell you what. Twitter should not be playing this game at all. Facebook should not, and YouTube shouldn't either. But YouTube's very different from the rest of them, okay? Now, with YouTube, we're getting into dangerous territory. We really are, because, YouTube is getting really close to being like an employer and being liable for the things people publish. I don't want to get into that, but I will tell you, if you're interested in that take, I do talk a bit more over at timcast.net in my 4 p.m. segment. However, I'll wrap it up there. The long the gist of this is that, you know, the social media companies are freaking out and trying to pander desperately. Mark Zuckerberg's pandering to Trump is like, no, we wouldn't do that. And Jack Dorsey's like, but I'll ban China too. We get it. Now you're worried because Trump has waved the sword. But stick around. I got a couple more segments coming up for you in a few minutes, and I will see you all shortly.
Control. Take those zones and hold them to your last breath. You captured Zone A. Enemy claimed Zone C. You're in the lead. Enemy claimed Zone B. Together as one. I love it. We have the lead, but the match. Zone C captured. You have zone advantage. Zone A lost. captured Zone B. You have zone advantage. Zone B lost. Strength in numbers, Guardian. Excellent. The enemy has gained ground, but it's not over. You captured Zone A. Zone advantage is yours. Zone C lost. Zone B captured. Zone advantage is yours.
Wow, what a douchebag.
I know a comeback when I see one. Fight on! That's hard fought. The lead is yours. Only 5 minutes left. minutes remaining. Zone C captured. You have zone advantage. You captured Zone B. Power play. Keep the pressure on. Zone A lost. Together as one. I love it. You're defeated. Fight again. Persistence is key. You've got to hold those zones. Maybe next time, Guardian.
Following up on my main channel segment about Donald Trump's looming executive order, it would seem that Twitter, Jack Dorsey are, dare I say, panicking over what's about to come. If you haven't seen the segment, head over to timcast.net. It's been live as of 4 p.m., but I'll give you a quick context if you missed it. Basically, Trump is set to sign an executive order. By the time you're watching this, maybe he already did it, basically asking the FCC to clarify the rules around Section 230. Meaning, long story short, Twitter could lose their Section 230 protections if they're deemed to be a publisher versus a platform. It's kind of murky territory, but the general idea is that Trump is trying to combat censorship. Twitter fact-checks 2-month-old tweets by China as Trump threatens web giants with bias investigations following outcry over accuracy warning on President Trump's tweets. The reason why I believe Jack Dorsey and many other platforms are probably freaking out right now is because, well, for one, this is a pending executive order, but in Jack Dorsey's position specifically, he fact-checked Donald Trump's...
Okay, emergency press conference. You're going to talk about the George Floyd, the riots, all the stuff. People say, Prez, you run this big media organization, you got to speak up. First of all, I look like crap. I've been partying. I'm on vacation, sorry. But yeah, shit sucks in this country right now. It absolutely sucks. First things first, like the cop, obviously, clearly everyone agrees with that. And it's a shame that he was still there. That's almost the biggest problem. Like every group of people have assholes. Cops have assholes. Sports teams have assholes. Accountants have assholes. Like, there's assholes. It's unfortunate this guy's a cop, and I really feel bad that all cops get painted with this brush. And I'm sure there's other bad cops, but the majority of them, I really do believe are good in trying to help people, black, white, whatever. And nobody's more upset when they get this happens to them than other cops. So I do feel bad for cops, but at the same time, listen, I'm a white guy, middle class, most of my friends white growing up. And throughout my life, I've always felt trouble, safe. You see a cop, that's a good thing. I've never driven down the street, see a cop car behind me, like, oh, I'm gonna get pulled over. I've never worried, oh, I jaywalked, I'm gonna end up with a fucking knee in my throat. for 10 minutes. Never crossed my mind. And if I was talking to African Americans or African American teenagers or whatever, that's what we got to get to. How do you get to somebody who's my age or your age, or who's ever age, different ethnicity, different color of skin, that they feel how I feel? That cops aren't out to get them, but to protect them. That's the change that's going to happen. That's where we got to get to. How to get to it? I don't know, because we had a long time, and this shit keeps happening. And I don't ever recall a white guy getting choked out or a knee down. It always seems to be a black person. I don't think that's a coincidence. So there's something going on there that's got to be fixed. Black people have to have the same trust that I do walking down the street, seeing a cop, thinking he's on my side, not against me. That's where we got to get to. How to get there? I don't know. I get what a lot of black leaders matters. Like, we got to cause such a chaos and ruckus, or else it's going to be brushed under the rug because nothing ever changes. Maybe. I don't know. Personally, I don't think burning down businesses, well, both black leaders and white, is going to solve it. I don't think just looting is going to solve it. And with these protests, there's no doubt. You have people who are out there for the right reasons, then you just have scumbags. So you have scumbag cops, you have scumbag protesters, taking advantage, looting, robbing. What the fuck? And then it all gets convoluted. Everyone's picking sides, and there is no side. Everybody should be on the same fucking side here. It shouldn't matter if you're black or white in this country. It really shouldn't. There shouldn't be racism, discrimination. How do you get there? And how do you oversight it? How in Minnesota does a guy have like 1 million complaints and still in the force? Noted scumbag. Ticking time bomb. Something's got to change. And I'm not going to sit here, oh, Dave, what are you saying? I'm saying nothing. I don't know the answers. I absolutely do not know the answers. But I know anytime this happens, there's extremes left, extremes right, we're pulling each other apart. It's going to stop. But I don't know.
Opinion. This is a huge. The guy bought a $117 case of Pinot Grigio, right? So $10 a bottle Pinot Grigio. I go on his Twitter account on this flight, and all he's tweeting is the following: Jay Cutler, I love you. Jay Cutler, you're the best. Jay Cutler, I'm mad at you. He's a huge, for those that don't know, Jay Cutler is the Chicago Bears, right? So he's talking about Jay Cutler. So I call my point person back in the store, and I said, look, I want you to go to eBay, and I want you to buy him a signed Jay Cutler jersey, which was like $350, much more than the 8% profit we made on the $111 case of Pinot Grigio. And I want you to send a note in there and say, thank you for your order. Thanks for shopping Wine Library. So great. So I send it. And then 3.5 weeks go by and nothing happens. And I'm like, this son of a gun is really not going to acknowledge this random time. So, you know, we send out some other stuff, and then out of nowhere, I'm actually, ironically, I'm about to take stage at a talk in Las Vegas, and I get a phone call from Kristen, and she goes, I mean, she hasn't called me yet. She works in the thank you department. She doesn't really need me. She's only to call me about these couple of things we sent out. And I pick up the phone, I go, you got something? She goes, kind of. I go ahead. She goes, I want to read you the order we just got. So she reads off this order, and how many people here are into wine? Great. Wow, amazing. So this person orders $4,800 worth of high-end red burgundy. You know, Coach the Ring, like Jack, like real stuff for the real nerds in here. Anyway, and here's what the comment box said. It said, hey, my name is Craig. I want you to know, you guys sent my friend John a Chicago Bears jersey, and he told me the story, and that's how I found out about you. P.S. You have great prices on red burgundy. P.S.S. I'm a huge Bruce Springsteen fan. The punchline of that story is you guys are curating events and experiences that really matter. People today, more and more, as time goes on, are sharing more and more information about themselves. We can cry about privacy, but every day we prove with our actions that we don't care. Right? And really, there's a much more fascinating debate over that, which is that people are inherently good. The mainstream media just talks about the small 1% of that. And that's why we share our privacy. Your ability to know a lot more about the people that are coming to these events is far greater than you may believe. And that if you actually put the time to understand who that is, I promise you this, that if I came to one of your events as a top seller or executive, and I walked into my hotel room, and instead of a fruit basket or a bottle of wine or a nice welcome note, that there was a New York Jets hat, that wouldn't matter to me, because that would show the thing that matters more than anything, which is intent and effort.
Mistake. Like, I'm talking, wow, level of mistake. If you're going to argue that you're a platform, not a publisher, the last thing you want to do is alter the content produced by people who are just opining on your platform. But Jack Dorsey, I should say Twitter, because I don't know if it was him directly, but he's the one taking responsibility for it, altered Donald Trump's tweet to send you to the opinions of people who don't like Trump. That is complete editorializing. Well, this isn't the perfect answer, but it seems like to avoid any question of political bias, they're now fact-checking tweets by China. This is also following out, I don't want to say outcry, but a statement by Mark Zuckerberg basically dragging Twitter. What do you call it when you have an emotional satisfaction? Catharsis, I suppose? Schadenfreude? Whatever. Let's read what happened. Twitter has fact-checked 2 tweets by China after it caused a political storm in the U.S. by flagging 2 of Donald Trump's tweets for accuracy, sparking fury from the president and accusations of social media giant added exclamation point warnings to tweets by China's foreign ministry spokesman, accusing the U.S. of starting the coronavirus pandemic. The timing of the fact checks coincide with the political fallout in America from Twitter's decision to add accuracy warnings on 2 of President Trump's tweets claiming mail-in election ballots were substantially fraudulent. The decision to single out 2 of the president's tweets for fact-checking led to furious accusations of anti-conservative bias in the U.S. Trump is now threatening to sign an executive order today which could expose Google, Facebook, and Twitter to government investigations into allegations of bias and more lawsuits. But amid the row, Twitter singled out tweets by China's foreign ministry spokesman, Li Jianzhou, accusing the U.S. Army of starting the coronavirus pandemic. He said it might be the U.S. Army, blah, blah, blah. Okay, you know why Twitter's doing this? They're like, we're not biased. See, look, no, we're not. It's not just Trump. It's China, too. Donald Trump, in his executive order, specifically called out China. Okay? This is it. The draft of the executive order got leaked. I'm sure that Twitter saw it, and they immediately were like, quick, censor China. What do we do? Maybe they got heads up on this first because there were some reports coming out. I don't know when exactly it leaked, but they're trying to make it seem like they're not biased. All right. How about you go and fact-check every politician for every false claim? How about you fact-check Joe Biden, who lied with the very fine baby votes? But before we move on with the story, I've got to give a quick shout-out to today's sponsor, Virtual Shield. Virtual Shield is a virtual private network service. It's basically a program you can download that provides your internet browsing with a basic layer of security. There are hackers, there are government agencies, there are general nefarious actors who want to break into your system, steal your data, and a VPN is one simple way to protect yourself. Now, I always tell people, look, you have locks on your doors and windows, but you don't expect people to break in, but you still do it. And to be honest, if somebody really wanted to, they could break the lock on your door, but you still have that lock, right? Because it makes sense to have basic security. Right now, if you go to hidewithtim.com, you can get 50% off your virtual private network service. It's just $2.50 per month. I'm eternally grateful to Virtual Shield for sponsoring my channel. They're one of the few sponsors I actually have, and I think it's a great service. So if you want to take your internet security seriously, check out hidewithtim.com. The link will be in the description below. But let's get back to the main story. They love running this fake story where they claim that Trump said some pretty nasty people were very fine people, but they removed the context where Trump said, I condemn the white supremacists totally. Or he said they should be condemned totally, and was talking about someone else. They removed that. They edited it. Twitter does nothing. So yeah, Twitter is biased, and now they're worried. What do they do? Here's where it gets funny. When asked about President Trump's expected executive order on social media platforms, Nancy Pelosi did not hold back her criticism of the companies. All they want is to not pay taxes. Yes, Nancy Pelosi, basically, they say that she slammed the companies for pandering to Donald Trump and giving him what he wants, because in the wake of this pending executive order, they may actually have to, I don't know, do their jobs and be held to a certain standard. Now, this move from, I want to elaborate on what Mark Zuckerberg said. I did briefly talk about Mark Zuckerberg in the main segment, but I want to really dive into him specifically, because he's trying to play it up like, here's what he said, we have a different policy than I think Twitter on this. He wants to make it seem like, no, we're not going to fact check, and we're going to be hands off. Let me tell you a funny story. Prager University, maybe you're familiar with.
published a screenshot of a tweet. It made several claims about immigration. It was fact-checked by Facebook. So when I saw it appear in my feed, or I think I went to their site, I could see that it said, you know, this has been fact-checked by Facebook, and you have to click a warning before reading the tweet. It was like a screenshot. They linked to an article which backed up everything PragerU had claimed, 100%. And I went, wait a minute. So here's what I did. I took the same shot, the same screenshot, I made a new image. This time, in my post, I linked directly to the fact-check article and said something like, this article backs up everything in this image, and they flagged my content as false too. Yeah, Mark, you're lying, okay? They're all lying. They're all sure. You know what? Maybe Pelosi's right. They just don't want to pay taxes. That's what it's all about, huh? They're all liars. All they want to do is sell ads. They don't want to deal with the controversy. And hey, to a certain degree, I can respect it. But you know what? You know, this is the territory that you've entered. And if you want to play games, you reap what you have sown. So, Mark, no, I don't buy it. You censor people outright all the time. You banned on Instagram Paul Joseph Watson, and he had this just like him smoking cigarettes in the sunset. Look, if you're mad that Paul Joseph Watson's got opinions and he's on Facebook, you don't like him, I get it. But why did you censor on Instagram when it was literally photos of him, like, you know, he's like making a face, he's got cigarette in his mouth, and he's like doing a selfie shot. It's like, you know what, man? I don't want to play. I'm not going to sit here and take these lies from you. Oh, well, we're better than Twitter. We wouldn't do that. No, you're not. You're just as bad. It's just that you're not getting called out because you didn't go after the president. You went after the smaller channels. Politico reports, Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg argued Wednesday that private companies should not be the arbiter of truth online, implicitly rebuking fellow tech titan Jack Dorsey after the Twitter CEO flagged a pair of President Donald Trump's posts with fact-check warnings that provoked the White House's ire. We have a different policy than, I think, Twitter on this one, Zuckerberg told Fox News host Dana Perino in an interview set to air Thursday. You know, I just believe strongly that Facebook shouldn't be the arbiter of truth of everything that people say online. I think in general, private companies probably shouldn't be, or especially these platform companies, shouldn't be in a position of doing that. I love it. See, here's the problem. A new story broke from the Wall Street Journal. Facebook knows that their algorithm was radicalizing people. What do? Nothing. They swept it under the rug. They're now trying to pass it off like, well, we shouldn't be the arbiter of truth. No, your algorithm is exploiting people and making people go insane. There's a big difference between algorithmic promotion and censorship. A lot of people complain about YouTube. They say, you know, I posted a video and then YouTube, you know, won't recommend it or whatever, and I've always maintained this. In most of my videos on my main channel, I'll say, share the video because YouTube pushes my channel down and props up the mainstream media. I'm not making a dig at YouTube for doing it. I don't think YouTube is under any obligation to promote my content, so long as it's visible. I did complain recently because YouTube shadow banned one of my videos. Hey, when I make a video, it's legal speech, it's important. You should allow people to see it if they choose to. You don't have to promote it. So I get it, it might hurt me and my income, but as long as the video is available for people to see, yeah, fine, I'm cool with it. Facebook has an algorithm, and the algorithm chooses what you see. How about this, Facebook? How about if you want to claim not to be the arbiter of truth, you remove the algorithm, and it's just chronological order, you know, so when someone posts, it pops up. Done. End of story. No, Facebook wants to maximize the amount of time you spend on site so they can maximize ad sales. I get it. What that means, though, is they want to make sure the content they're feeding you is more likely to get attention from you. They made an algorithm to do that. It then spreads fake news. And then when people complain and say, dude, look at all the fake news on your platform, they're like, well, we're not the arbiters of truth. I mean, the first thing they do is they bend over backwards for the left, start censoring all this content, go way overreach, start censoring legitimate news from conservative outlets, and then they eventually just say, oh, well, you know, we're not arbiters of truth. Spare me, dude. It's a lie. It's a game. Easiest way to solve Facebook's problem, okay? No more fact-checking, period. Get rid of all of it. And then when someone posts it, it's that simple. Because then if someone spreads fake news, so what? People spread fake news to each other all the time. I went to Walgreens like a couple weeks ago, and the lady was talking nonsense about Bill Gates and stuff. And I'm like, I don't think that's true. No, I mean, it was like real crazy stuff. You know, I understand there's a lot of weird things about Bill Gates people in the chat, but I feel like she's awful.